All right, folks, let's talk about the nature of the cosmic force of Tao. So as we learned in our previous lecture, Taoism is a religion originating in 5th to 4th century China that advocates the existence of a deeply mysterious life force called Tao. But here's a relevant question. What exactly is Tao? So the term Tao literally means the way, and it refers to a mysterious cosmic force responsible for the creation and sustainment of the world. Now, if you notice that creation is in quotes, I'm doing that because basically, according to the Tao Te Ching, the Tao creates and yet doesn't create. So again, it's a paradoxical, enigmatic, mysterious force, and therefore I'll be using kind of creation in quotes going forward. Now, one thing that is very important is the following. Tao does not refer to a god or intelligent being, but rather Tao is more like an impersonal, amoral, non-intelligent life force as it is expressed in the Tao Te Ching. Ah yes, now another disclaimer. So just be aware that in the Tao Te Ching, Tao is depicted, as I mentioned before, as an enigmatic force that cannot be grasped through reason and is beyond categorization. But this is a college course, so we do have to do some categorizing so that the material makes sense. And there are certain consistent features of Tao that do kind of run throughout the Tao Te Ching, and we are going to highlight those in a moment. So with this in mind, let's talk about the 5 features of Tao that seem to kind of pop up throughout the Tao Te Ching. So the first feature of Tao that is mentioned in the Tao Te Ching is that Tao is a non-active life force. That is, Tao embodies the principle of what we call Wu Wei, or non-action or actionless action. And the term Wu Wei basically means to act without desire or striving. So Tao does not create because it desires to create, nor does it aim at some goal or end. Rather, Tao just creates. So Tao is non-active, it doesn't desire, it doesn't strive for anything. It just does what it does, and that's it, and thus embodies the principle of Wu Wei. That is, in the Tao Te Ching, Tao is said to be like water, that it just kind of flows here and there. That is, water just flows. It doesn't desire to flow. It has no goals in mind. It just flows. And so therefore Tao is kind of considered to be like water. It just non-actively acts in the world. And as is written in the Tao Te Ching, how expansive is the great way, flowing to the left and to the right. The myriad creatures rely upon it for life, and it turns none of them away. And when its work is done, it claims no merit. So what is the second feature of Tao that appears in the Tao Te Ching? Tao is infinite and immortal. That is, Tao has always been here and will never die. It is indestructible and unlimited in its power. So as is written in the Tao Te Ching, the spirit of the valley never dies. She is called the enigmatic female. The portal of the enigmatic female is called the root of heaven and earth. An unbroken gossamer thread, it seems to be there, but use will not unsettle it. Third, Tao is essentially nameless. That is, Tao itself cannot be named because Tao transcends human knowledge and understanding, as we kind of mentioned before. So how do we know about Tao's existence? Well, Tao can only be known through its creations, that is, through the natural world. That is, the natural world is considered to be like a reflection of the force of Tao. So the only way that we can know Tao is through its creations. And as is written in the first chapter of the Tao Te Ching, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. And this brings us to the fourth feature. Tao is impersonal and amoral. That is because Tao embodies Wu Wei. Tao is unaware of what is good or evil. It simply creates impulsively without thought of how it affects human life. So concepts such as good and evil are created by human beings. They are social conventions which are beyond the force of Tao's comprehension. So for example, let's say that in the natural flow of Tao, an earthquake occurs. So Tao did not intend for the earthquake to occur. That was not the goal. Tao just kind of, again, flows here and there, creates and sustains the world, but it really has no concept of evil. So an earthquake is just like a natural occurrence that happens in the world, but it is not being done for any particular reason. And lastly, the fifth feature of Tao, Tao balances nature. That is, Tao, when it flows in the world, it always returns yin and yang to a state of balance in nature. So for example, in Taoism, winter is considered to be a yin season, meaning that there is an overproduction of yin that enters the world and therefore results in the season of winter. Whereas summer is considered to be a yang season where there's an overproduction of yang, hence why it's hot and dry. So even though sometimes there's more yin energy in the world and sometimes there's more yang energy in the world, somehow Tao, just through the natural flow of things, seems to return the world to a state of balance.